Jennifer Fotus Dulos, a Connecticut mother of 5, disappeared in May of 2019 after dropping her children off at school. Although her body has never been found, authorities believe Jennifer was unalived by her estranged husband, Fotus Dulos. Shortly after being charged with her death, Fotus Dulos, who denied any involvement, unalived himself. Michelle Troconis, Fotus's girlfriend, is another individual that was charged in this case. It is alleged that Troconis conspired with Fotus to end his wife's life. At the conclusion of a lengthy trial held in March of 24, Troconis was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. She was also found guilty of tampering with physical evidence and hindering the prosecution. Now behind bars and serving a 14.5-year sentence, Michelle Troconis maintains her innocence. In a public letter to a news organization, Troconis claims that she was fooled and deceived by Fotus. Troconis claimed she failed to recognize his true nature and claimed that she never believed Fotus would be capable of committing such a horrendous crime. But where does the truth lie? Was Troconis truly duped by her then boyfriend? Or did she willingly assist in bringing about the passing of Jennifer Fotus Dulos? Today we will be taking a psychic look at what the universe wants to reveal as to one woman's guilt or innocence. Please be advised that the information contained within this video is based on personal opinion and interpretation of tarot card messages delivered via my guides. This video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered facts proven in a court of law. Thank you. All right, my friends, today I'm going to be working with the Wild Reflections Tarot deck and the Murder Mystery Oracle deck. And we're going to try to get some answers as to what truly went on. What role Michelle Troconis played in the demise of Jennifer Fotus Dulos. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on Michelle's energy for this reading. If something comes up through this deck regarding another perpetrator, we'll see if the message comes across that it was indeed Fotus Dulos. But that is my belief at the moment, but anything could change at any time, guys. Now, I do want to talk quickly about the Karen Reed effect. And what I mean by the Karen Reed effect is that other individuals who are in a position of either facing a trial or being accused of some wrongdoing, some crime, I believe they are starting to take notice of how the public responded to Karen Reed in support of a woman who, in my belief, has been wrongly accused of committing a crime, a deadly crime. And I feel as though at this moment in time, Michelle Troconis' family, and perhaps even Michelle herself, have also begun to notice this little bit of a trend happening, and they are trying to initiate protests and things of that nature in support of Michelle. But we'll see how things go from there. Now, I do know that many people out there verbally, vocally believe that Karen Reed is guilty, and they have no problem saying so and starting Facebook groups and things like that, and fighting and arguing amongst themselves with other people who believe that she is innocent. But I also think that what is happening is that other people who have been accused of a crime and or are incarcerated because of something they were found guilty of, they are like, hey, where are our supporters? Where are our protesters? And the families of these people want to get in on this action somehow, some way, because they see the effect, the large effect it has on the court, or in the court of public opinion. Okay, so we've got a few cards that have come out already in the Murder Mystery Oracle. Let me see if I can get one or two more. We did. Okay. We're going to take a look at those shortly. I'm going to sort of leave them like that, and we'll take a closer look in just a few. And now I want to pull some tarot cards because I really want to get into the mindset of Michelle Troconis. Let me just clean up this space here to give me more room. Okay. And once again, this is the Wild Reflections Tarot deck that we're going to be using today. All right, let's see what's come out so far. Okay, we had quite a few come out actually, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 7 tarot cards, and I believe 4 murder mystery cards. So let's take a closer look at what these cards want to talk about today. Friends, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you have that notification bell clicked and set to all so you don't miss anything that is coming up ahead on the channel. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, the Lovers, Temperance, the Death card, and the Sun. And we're going to focus on those first, and whenever I feel so inclined, we're going to read these Murder Mystery Oracle cards as well. All right, but I want to start out here with the 10 of Pentacles because this message is coming across very loud and clear for me. So the Pentacles typically talks to either wealth, abundance, or something in the physical. And I can't help but notice this sort of happy little family depiction here. But right in the forefront, we've got this gray-haired gentleman with his arms crossed in front of himself. And my goodness, guys, what I'm feeling with this card is that Fotus's energy, I know he wasn't an elderly gentleman, but I believe he may have had graying hair toward the end of his life. But I feel as though Fotus was looking upon the actions that he and Michelle were both involved in as something that would lead to something that would have led to their own personal happily ever after, is what I am hearing. We have this couple, we have these children, we have a dog here, which would really just personify that whole family unit. And if I am reading this from Michelle's energy, I believe that what I am hearing is that this portrait, this eventuality, was one that Fotus spoke about with Michelle. And it was one that she very much wanted to believe in. She wanted to put stock in this outcome because Michelle very much was in love with Fotus. We have that here in the Lover's card. This is what I'm hearing in this depiction, this illustration. This is how and where Michelle's energy was residing, in large part, throughout this entire ordeal. She wasn't just somewhat interested in Fotus. This wasn't a passing fancy for her. Michelle was truly 100% engaged because this is a major arcana energy. Michelle thought of her relationship with Fotus as being something sent from the divine, something that was destined. And she truly believed that whatever was going on within his relationship with his ex-wife was still going to be karmic, in a sense that the two of them, Michelle and Fotus, would have this mutual, beautiful, loving relationship at the end of whatever happened. Now we've got the Page of Pentacles here, which, as we know, the pages are the messengers of the deck. And this messenger is talking about something having to happen in the physical form. Now in this deck, we have the pentacles represented as sunflowers, which I truly do love. But why I find it interesting here is that this card to me is, or this flower rather, is coming up around Jennifer's energy, this bright and shining flower. And I feel as though there was a message that Michelle had received at some point and or was given by Fotus at some point. And that message was that Jennifer's flower would need to be plucked from the ground, plucked from the earth, in order for this eventuality, this result, to come to fruition. So in some way, shape, or form, this could have come in actual messages, text messages between the two, or these could have been conversations. But Michelle did receive these messages from Fotus that if Jennifer was somehow still in the picture, this outcome may not come to be. This may not have been realized. And so this flower, which is representative of Jennifer's energy with all this bright light, somehow Michelle knew, I'm hearing Michelle knew, that Fotus wanted it to be snuffed out. So she either got this impression, guys, or she was actually told in no uncertain terms. I'm going to go ahead up here quickly and take a look at one of these cards. The Killer is a predator who tracks a specific type of victim. He's a predator. Now, here I believe with the K word, we are referencing, or the universe is referencing, Fotus's energy. And I do believe, in fact, that he was a predator of sorts. But with respect to the word victim here, I'm actually getting two different messages. I'm hearing that Fotus Dulos definitely preyed on his former wife. He played her. He used his talents against her. But I also am hearing that he preyed upon Michelle. So that's an interesting message right there from that card for me. All right, now let's move into the Nine of Pentacles, because again, we're in this Pentacles energy, which is movement and motion and things that take place in the physical. Again, I want to also reference that this is abundance. Now, I don't know Michelle Troconis's financial status, but within this depiction with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel as though I am in Michelle's energy. And because we are so closely linked here with the Lovers, Michelle was existing in this ideal. She saw this plan of sorts as something that was going to improve her way of living, improve her status, and not just in the sense of being connected to someone that she loved. I feel as though there was a part of Michelle that was almost looking at this in the financial aspect, or financial aspects as well. Now, perhaps she wasn't exactly counting Fotus's dollars, because I don't know if Fotus was truly a wealthy man. I feel as though that was something that was gleaned from the way that he and Jennifer Dulos led their lives with their vehicles, where they lived, and so on and so forth. But I am hearing that Fotus's actual net worth was not something that Michelle was cognizant about. But she did see this opportunity to have Fotus to herself as something that was going to elevate her standing in more ways than one, is what I'm hearing. So that's kind of interesting. Let's have another look here at the oracle. We have the Killer profile indicates a narcissist or sociopath. And I love this depiction. We've had this one come out before. And we have someone who looks one way, but in actuality, his larger personality type is different. So it's like he wanted to come across as this ideal representation of a man in power, sitting in wealth, sitting in prestige, enjoying success. But we've got this mask with these devil ears, these horns here, and this tail, saying that Fotus Dulos definitely had narcissistic and sociopathic tendencies, which I would not dispute. Now we move into Temperance over here. Again, another card in the major arcana, Temperance, talking about achieving balance between darkness and light, between goodness and evil. So even though this depiction here features a male energy or a man with these angel wings behind him, I want you to look very closely at what is strung within his hands. This is that beam of light matching up here with that of Jennifer. So, what I'm being told is that Fotus was in control of Jennifer's fate. And he was telling Michelle to be patient, because what was going to play out was going to work out for them in the greatest possible way. But in order to get there, there was going to be this great darkness around him. And I don't know exactly if he spoke about the depths of this darkness directly to Michelle, but I do feel as though she was somewhat aware of this because of the fact that we've got this dark night sky and the sun so close together. This being the ideal that Fotus and Michelle wanted for themselves, that lovers, and this being the tumult, the tragedy that had to happen in order to bring this about in such a way that Jennifer would no longer be something that either one of them had to deal with. Okay, so I do feel as though Michelle's energy is linked in here as well. But you see this bolt of lightning here? This thunderbolt was something I believe that Michelle never thought would strike her. So what I'm hearing is that Michelle wanted to be somewhat aware. She wanted to remain in the dark for her own preservation. But there was the realization, the recognition of what Fotus was truly about to do or thinking of doing. I feel as though Michelle knew about it more than she was even willing to admit to herself. That's what I'm hearing, guys. That is what I'm hearing. And then, boom, the death card comes up. Now, ordinarily in a regular tarot card reading, I've stated this before, if we're not talking about a crime, the death card does not actually signify an actual passing. But when we are talking about a crime having been committed where someone lost their life, the death card indicates confirmation of that having taken place. And here again, we've got this swirling dark sky, guys. And look, do you see these beams of light? There goes Jennifer. Fotus right in the center of it, with these wild horses running around, running amok, indicating to me that this was a firestorm. This was a firestorm of an event that claimed Jennifer's life. And Fotus was the person right in the center of it all, right in the center of it all. Now, because I don't see a second individual here, a female here, that doesn't indicate necessarily that Michelle wasn't indirectly involved. Because we have the sun here, and we have this female about to bang the drum, the gong here, of this rising new day. And what I'm hearing, guys, is that Michelle had some knowledge. Michelle had some knowledge. She had enough knowledge that something might have been happening, that what was going to happen to Jennifer would have been permanent and extremely tragic. So I'm hearing, yeah, she had some basic knowledge. But I almost feel as though she closed herself off to this, is what I'm hearing. She closed off part of herself to this. I'm hearing the words compartmentalized, so as not to look directly at the sun, guys. She wanted its warmth. She wanted this goal so much so that she was going to not look directly at the sun and just herald whatever was going to take place to bring her and Fotus, she and Fotus, together in the long run. Let's take a look at these other two cards here. The Killer has already been interviewed. Well, we know that Fotus was interviewed, and we also know that ultimately he took his own life. So we know that. And then we have, this crime will be solved in the distant future. Now, according to the court system, it is already solved. It has been solved. The court and the jury found that Michelle Troconis was implicit, that she knew about the plans and or aided and abetted in the committing of the crime, hiding evidence, and so on and so forth. But I'm really feeling that more is going to be revealed. To pull. I'm hearing one more pull for this. Because I want to know without a shadow of a doubt how much Michelle knew. Did she know before the fact? Did she know after the fact? All right, we just had sort of a little clump here come out. So again, guys, as much as I try to keep these readings short and manageable, the universe has quite a bit to say about Michelle Troconis. And will she get her own set of supporters, a la Karen Reed? I'm not feeling that, guys. I'm not feeling that she is going to drum up that kind of, those kind of protests and that kind of support that Karen Reed is receiving. Two different things I'm hearing. It's like apples and oranges is what I'm hearing. All right, so we have the Hanged Man energy coming up right now. And I do feel as though this energy is coming up around Michelle. She does feel very stuck where she is because I think in large part, Michelle has convinced herself that she was fooled by Fotus. So I don't know, again, if this is a case of just personal denial to the umpteenth power, or if she truly is just like, I need to get out of here. I know she has a daughter. I need to get out of here. I need to be found. I need an appeal. I need to be found innocent. I was duped, you know, that whole thing. But she is hung up right now, feeling as though she is like in limbo to a certain degree. Justice, guys, justice. So yeah, Michelle is definitely looking for justice. She feels as though justice has not been served. Michelle feels very strongly that she was not heard. And I believe that is why she has taken to writing notes now, her first note having just been released. She's like, my voice was not heard. My side of the story was not included and was not considered when justice was given. When justice came down around her, is what I'm hearing. The Wheel of Fortune, we've got a lot of major arcana energy, guys, a lot of it. Because we've got another one here coming up with the Hierophant. So the Wheel of Fortune, Michelle is thinking that she wants to roll the dice with perhaps the Hierophant being counsel. Maybe she wants to get herself some new counsel and go after an appeal because she truly feels as though the justice given was not fair. And then the Ace of Cups, guys. This talks about a new beginning, a new ideal for Michelle, for her heart. So she's feeling very strongly right now that in her heart space, there is something better awaiting her than where she sits at this current moment in time. Okay, guys, I am going to do one more pull here with this deck. But I wanted to allow a few more messages to come through as I studied this board. And what I'm hearing is that Fotus was telling Michelle, something needs to be done, and I am the person, I am the individual that has to do it. I have to take care of this matter with Jennifer. And I feel as though Michelle may have been inquiring as to exactly what he meant, what he was talking about, what he was going to do. And initially, I'm being told that Fotus was trying to keep Michelle in the dark. He was trying to keep her in the dark. But I do feel as though Michelle had, on an intuitive level, had a bad feeling about where things might have been going. But she turned a blind eye because I do believe that she didn't think of Fotus as someone who could commit that kind of a crime. Okay, but the potential for something really, really tragic to happen was, I believe it was a fleeting thought in her mind. And after Jennifer disappeared, I'm hearing that Michelle was terrified. She was terrified that her suspicion that Fotus might have been indirectly trying to give her a message about the severity of the actions that were going to take place. She was like thinking to herself, oh my God, what did he do? What did he do? And she was not wanting to look at it, as I said earlier. She was wanting to believe that he wasn't involved. But after the fact, how much did she know? When she and Fotus were driving around Connecticut, dropping bags of garbage here, there, and everywhere, what did she know then? Okay, jealousy, an affair, or love-related crime. We do know that. And this is the universe just confirming that this crime was largely driven by the promise of this new relationship. Now, jealousy, I do feel as though there is or was some jealousy coming from Michelle toward Jennifer. I believe she was jealous of Jennifer's life. I believe she was jealous of the family that she was raising. I believe that Michelle truly wanted to step in some way, and that she wanted to see herself in that role as Mrs. Fotus Dulos. And then we have illegal activities played a role, and we know that as well, guys, that it was a very, very, very illegal activity to take another person's life. But yeah, I'm hearing right now, guys, as far as after the fact with the dumping of garbage, at that point, I feel as though Michelle slowly began to realize that she had become, I'm hearing, an unwitting partner in a crime that was unspeakable. So if she didn't know it going in, I'm hearing that all of that suspicious activity after the fact, Michelle was definitely clued into. She knew it. Now, I don't believe this is something that she was talking to Fotus about. I believe that this is something that she had come to the realization about, and she was really afraid. She was afraid because she knew that this had the potential to be a powder keg for her. So with the Ace of Wands, what I'm hearing, guys, is that after all was said and done, after the police interviews, after Fotus took his own life, Michelle became intent on starting something new. This is from a place of strong passion, strong will, aspiration. She needed to take matters into her own hands and see if she could resurrect for herself something new and promising, because she was well aware that everything was pointing to her as being implicated in Jennifer's death. Friends, what I'm hearing is that Michelle Troconis got in over her head. She became involved with someone who was a sociopath. And at some point during their relationship, during the last weeks and months of their relationship, she began to feel it and see it. She knew something was going to happen. She didn't know exactly what, perhaps. I think that Fotus did potentially spare her those details, but for a different reason. Not necessarily to protect Michelle, but because he did not want to be talked out of what he was about to do. So they were purely selfish reasons. And I do believe that at some point in time, Michelle became aware that something was very nefarious and that it was too late by the time all was said and done. So I think that her indirect involvement after the fact is something that she cannot truly, completely deny. Friends, before I end here, I do want to state that we did get the message that more information could be forthcoming with regard to Michelle and her role in this entire ordeal, because I don't believe that she planned the ending of Jennifer's life. I do not believe she was in on that plan. However, I believe that there was some part of her that was aware that something was going to go down that was really bad. And again, I just feel like she was in denial. She did not want to see it, know from it. She was just trusting that the man that she loved was going to do the right thing. And yeah, but she feels very strongly that she wants to present her case again. I don't know, guys, because to me, what I keep hearing right now is that after all was said and done and they were driving around and everything that went on shortly after, like in those immediate days of Jennifer's passing, I believe that at some point, Michelle knew exactly what happened. So those are the messages that I received today. These are my interpretations. Everything is alleged, and they're in my opinion only. As always, thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more, and be blessed.